a lot of people just assume, oh, I just need to train all the things. Right?
Yes,
Like I'm going to do this competition, so I just need to train all the things all the time. And that can actually produce a physique that does not fit the criteria for the division that you're interested in competing in.
Totally. And your physique could be tired. Like your body could be tired from overtraining. If you're in the gym in the morning, in the gym at night, weight training 2 hours a day separately, like that's not an efficient way to grow muscle, contrary to belief, you know?
Exactly. So it's very important when you start on this journey, even if you don't anticipate, much like yourself, you're not getting on stage for another year, but the work is done now. So getting in and training appropriately now is going to yield the best result when it's time to officially get into a prep scenario.
1,000%. If you're even thinking about doing a contest prep, no, just like getting on stage at all, maybe in the future, maybe in a year, you want to start now. Especially if you're going to the gym, start training for that division that you think you're best suited for.
I think too, another reason why this podcast would be helpful is for girls who even aren't interested in competing, but they like the look or the aesthetic of a specific division. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, I never want to get on stage, but I really, really love the physique of, the wellness girls, or I like the long, lean, muscular look of the bikini girls, or I really like the super athletic, buff look of the figure girls. You can customize your training, even if you're a normie, to change the shape of your body in that direction based off of your training.
Totally. And to change the shape of your body, you need to weight train. You need to lift weights. That's going to give your body that sexy shape you're searching for.
Yes, exactly. So let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to start first with the bikini division. We have a lot of bikini athletes, and this is probably the biggest division in bodybuilding, I would assume, just based off of watching plenty of shows and seeing bikini girl after bikini girl. This is the largest division. It's the entry-level division to bikini. And with that, it depends on each individual person. So we get a client, we're like, okay, you want to train for bikini. We really have to decide based off of where they're at, what their training needs to look like. But for the conversation today, we're going to just generally speak as far as what the training would look like if we just had Jane Doe, who just is kind of up and down symmetrical, and we need to sculpt her into a bikini queen.
Maybe yo-yo dieting, just like in the gym, what we would do.
Yes. Now, with bikini, we talked about yesterday, Amanda and I talked about the criteria, which is, glutes, the shape, the structure, the symmetry. So you can expect that you're going to be doing a lot of hip thrusts.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We're going to be doing a lot of lower body training. You're going to train glutes, hamstrings, quads, as well as your upper body. I think sometimes girls just don't think they need to train their upper body, and some of them don't. But for the most part, they're going to need some level of upper body training in their program.
Absolutely, because the foundation of muscle that you build will give your body that shape, and it will give the balance to the body people or the judges are looking for when you hit the stage. You have to have muscle in your upper body, especially your lower body, your glutes, especially.
Yeah. So for example, like give them some ideas of what your bikini girl's training split looks like. So what would an average week look like for a girl who's training in bikini as far as like what their body parts are that they're training?
Typically the first day is going to be like glutes and hamstrings. We're hitting the ground running with lower body the first day. The second day, probably shoulders, maybe a little bit of triceps, training some abs. Third day, maybe it's an off day. They generally train 5 days a week. So that fourth day would probably be another lower body day, quads, more glutes. Friday, day 5 would be a back day, maybe a little bit of shoulders, some more abs, a little bit of arms. And then that last day would be another lower body. Glutes in there, maybe some hamstrings. Depends on the shape. Like, what do you look like when you come to me? is your foundation already built to where maybe we don't need to train as much quad, right? So we need to bring up your glutes a little bit more. We're going to prioritize training your glutes more than anything. So it really just depends. But yeah, generally 5 days a week, lower body focus for sure.
Now, give us an idea of what types of exercise a bikini athlete is going to need to build the muscle that they need to be successful when they strip down their body fat, and we need to see what kind of muscle they've built.
I feel like this is kind of a trick question because like it all works. The basics work. There's not going to be a special formula that's going to be like, oh, that's the one. This is the only set of exercises, right? Obviously, they need to be hypertrophy. They need to like get that muscle stimulus. So things like hip thrusts, of course, we're going to do cable kickbacks, hip abductions, hip adductions for the inner thighs, leg press, leg extensions, hamstring curls, RDLs, we're deadlifting, all the things that a normal training program would have, but very specific to that individual needs, like growing specific body parts for sure.